Good morning. I am going to go through what I believe to be the history of the John Deere one-hole corn sheller. This is a unit that we picked up, diamond, and is made by, I don't know how to pronounce this, Marseilles Manufacturing in Illinois, Marseilles, Illinois. I believe this is the precursor, or this is the company that John Deere ended up contracting and eventually, I think, purchasing to make the one-hole corn sheller. Let me turn this around quick. There we go. Lighting's a little poor in the garage here. I'm going to go to a few different spots and kind of go through, I think, the history of the John Deere one-hole corn sheller. So this one is mostly wood, obviously where the bearings go and the stuff that does all the work, which you won't be able to see because I'm using the best camera ever, my cell phone camera. But you can tell it's Marseilles company, and in a few seconds here I will show you another corn sheller that's obviously a John Deere one made by the same company. Not sure if this is original. It's obviously vintage, or of the same vintage, but I can't tell you if that's original or not. Don't know enough about it for that. If anybody knows, put something down in the comments. Alright, let me move on to the John Deere version. This here is a John Deere corn sheller. I believe this to be an earlier one. This one we've actually restored. It was in kind of rough shape, but it has all the original wood. It's got a metal frame. Some cast pieces, obviously the piece here that holds they've kind of stiffened that up going all the way across. This I believe to be an older one because it originally had patent pending on it. And like I was mentioning before, this is a John Deere cast in. And over here is, I think we can read that. Maybe not, hold on. Marseilles Works, made by Marseilles Works, East Moline, Illinois. So I believe that to be the same company. Let me flip this around here. Here is what I would call the backside. Again with the patent pending. It does have the fan. It's missing the belt. There's a belt that runs here. It's got to have a twist in it. So you put a twist in the belt, and that runs a fan, which ends up blowing all the shaft out of there. All the little airborne pieces. So I've got a few more of these wooden ones around. I'll take a look and show you any differences I note in those. So now I'm going to try to get the chronology correct here, but I'm sure I will not get it all correct. This is actually the first wooden one that ever restored. This one I kind of wish we hadn't restored. It was in really good shape. Wood-wise, you can almost tell by the graining pattern. But this one, as you know, this one says patented December 2nd, 1919. So I'm not sure if that means the other one is older than this. I assume it does. It's got very similar castings all around. I'm not exactly sure if they were originally painted like we've got them painted. Other than the red and the green I know are right, but the yellow stuff we brush on, that I'm not sure if that's all correct. Again, this one's got the fan in here again. So I believe that is a little bit newer version of the same corn sheller. Alright, focus. Now I was attempting to do this chronologically, but there's a walk between where I have all these things stored. So again, this is back to the patent pending. Again, pretty close to the original one. All of these wooden, this is John Deere one corn sheller, one hole. I think I only have a couple that have the actual belt on. We've been using O-ring material to kind of restore those. Again, I don't know if this was originally painted. Guessing probably not, probably just green. A little bit more of a showy setup. Again, made by Marseilles Company, East Moline, Illinois. So I'm not sure if they were contracting at this time. Dump the corn in here. Just this thing shaking around as you're cranking it. So a lot of these I'm not going to take all the way down. The right way to do this is to take them outside, run some corn through them. We'll do that someday. It's not going to be for a while. This one you'll note, this one and all the ones this age and older, there's no clutch in here. You'll see on later ones there's a clutch in that section so you don't hurt yourself as you're whipping it around. So that is the last John Deere 1 corn sheller that I have in my possession. This one I guess is a little bit older, I'd assume, than the one that has the actual patent date on it. But they're kind of sharp looking units. Alright, this is as good a spot as any to start the next section. So this is a John Deere 1A. It's going to be a little hard to see on this one. Number one, because it's up on the shelf. Like I said, I should probably take them down. You see, this has got a very similar frame, so the aluminum frame. I don't believe they use the same castings. There's different castings. Very similar crank. This one's obviously in bad shape. It's kind of welded up there at the hub, and then at the end the wood part is missing. You see, it was galvanized, red lettering. There are some, get down in there, some wood components still in there. A little teaser. This one, like I said, this is the 1A, and then I believe I've only ever seen one like this, and that is this little teaser, because this is the next one in the series, which I've got a few other 1As around that I want to show you. But this one, another little teaser. This has got a clutch in it, so as you rotate this handle has a one-way clutch in it, so you can only crank it when it's spinning around. You can't hurt yourself. This one, well, you could hurt yourself. This one's got a little pail holder on it, which I'll show better in a different one. But if you look at this one, it's got a cast iron top. It's got a galvanized midsection, which when I get to the next ones, you'll see, I think this has got to be a transition between the 1A and the 1B. I have not ever seen another one that had a galvanized midsection. So red lettering, there's some patent stuff on there. If you can make it out, I could probably spend some time to figure it out. Others pending. We on the bottom is what it says. So those are the next two in the series, but I'm going to show you a couple other 1As that I've got restored. Other little differences on these: flywheel, kind of a cast spoke, more of a hexagonal cross section on the OD. This one here has a very similar cast spoke, but it's more of a T-section cross section when you get around to cutting through that. McCormick one, got a couple of those laying around too. This one, I think the McCormick ones came with and without fans. I've got a couple with fans, a couple without, but for main part, I want to focus on the John Deeres in this one. Let you guys know what I know, and whatever I don't know, I'm just making up. I'll put something down in the comments, a link to an article that I found describing a little bit of the history. There's a ton of other little parts laying around here too. Maybe we can get at those at some point. But for right now, the John Deere ones, and move on to a more restored 1A. Alright, so as promised, a more restored John Deere 1A. Also, like I mentioned, there's a McCormick right there that has a fan on the bottom. Very similar design. I don't know if that was, I believe I heard of like Pony Company, Pony Manufacturing, had something to do with the McCormick ones. I don't know as much about those. But anyway, here's a John Deere 1A that we've restored. Didn't do anything with the galvanizing. Try to keep that, some spots here where there's some rust coming through, but it's pretty old stuff. So here, they're using the same patent date on this one, patent December 2nd. So the other 1A that I showed you had a different screen print on it, where there were some patents applied for. So this one patented December 2nd, 1919. Using the same patent date on this one, you can almost see, we had a sign painter actually do a really good job. He painted over the old stuff that was on there. So this is, I know this is an original design for the 1A lettering on here, and obviously the other one that wasn't restored. Here's another little part. These actually mount on the flywheel side. This is one thing we took it off to get it up on the shelf here. But you put your cob of corn in there to do a better job of getting the kernels off. If you want to use seed corn, that gets the small kernels at the end off. So 1A, maybe you guys already noticed. A 1B, so this is the 1B, as I showed you one before. This is where you see, this is how you see most of them with this green painted center section. Some of these things, like I said, I think that decal back there is something I probably just put on. I don't remember ever seeing any with that actually on there. John Deere pail, just a sticker, put on a galvanized pail. These, I'll show you a different one that's unrestored. This is a bracket for an electric motor, and I'll show you how that all works on a different one. But this one here, I did the painting on this one, so as you can tell, not as crisp and clean, but still, that's how it was originally. You can maybe even see behind there a little bit where it was painted on there. And then there's another, is a new idea. Corn sheller, one hole. That one we've also restored, except for this decal here. It's in such good shape, I didn't want to mess with it. This one also has the clutch in it. It's a one-way clutch. Not sure much about this one at all. Just kind of picked this one up along the way. And this one over here. So you see a couple of these around. Actually restoring one right now. It's all getting sandblasted. Didn't realize this until the one we just got. We had made this lower section here because it was missing. This is actually what it's supposed to look like. This is a cast part we had made based on the one that was on the one that actually we just got. So it's got a little rounded section right here. So when your pail is sitting here, corn comes out, it's not in the way. Didn't know that when we made this one. So, focusing mainly on the John Deere, you can kind of see the three of them in this. We've got them stored all over the place here. I'm going to run, we've got one with an electric motor on. I'll show you that one next. Hold tight. Alright, so here's another one, just to show that we're equal opportunity collectors. This is another McCormick one. I don't believe the handle on this one is original, but it does have a clutching mechanism in it. You can see it was really rough at one time. Just ended up kind of cleaning it up, and I don't think that's the right decal, but it's functional. So if I get around to this side, kind of see we put that smaller decal on the back side. This one's got the pan, but it's got the more of a stamp pan. Also to prove equal opportunity collector. Here's a few of the other tractors my dad and I collect. Handful here. We got the LA 8N Super 55. There's an H over there. Massey 35. Apples that we're going to be potentially making juice out of. And then my Farmall M. Kind of rough shape, but works well. Alright, back. I had to get over here to get the plug in. I'm going to try to operate this one. So this is the John Deere 1B. This one is, as far as I know, original. We've never restored it, and I don't think anybody else would have taken the time to do it. This one has that bracket on for the motor. It's got the motor. Not sure if the motor is original to it or if you can just put those on. I can be able to read this on the video, I don't think. General Electric AC motor. This has the belt on, so this is what I'm talking about, the belt. But I think this is not a belt that we put on, so I think that's the original belt on there. Again, patent information, John Deere, so that's original. If you're trying to restore one, that's all original. Must have been protected a little bit on this side with the flywheel. This one was missing the crank when we had it, when we got it. No patent information on this side, on this one. Just the John Deere. It looks to me, that's just the decal on there. But this one has the one-way crank, so as you can see, it's not working right now. You push this in, and then it engages. If I can get it to turn, there you go. But then you can also, it falls down, so it pops out. So we'll plug this in, see if I can get it to turn for you. and you throw your corn in. This one doesn't have a chute on it. It has this little piece that captures it. But that's how the electric one works. Alright, and this video is getting pretty long, so we'll hurry up and go through this one. This is the, I'll say it's got the most features on it of all the ones that we've got. I made the cart. It's got an old like balance scale cart on it. Used to actually take this to antique tractor steam engine shows with the John Deere engine behind it over there, belted up. So it's got a flat belt pulley on it. And this has got, if you look on the inside, I was mentioning before the corn tipper. This one's got a corn tipper, a little different design. This one actually just has a set screw that goes onto the main shaft. I guess this one doesn't have the chute on it, but it does have, you put the single feed them in version. This one was the first one we actually got. Went out looking for one to belt up to the 1.5 horse John Deere. So this one's got the little pail holder, and then the way I've got the cart set up, you take the belts off. That small belt on top is one we actually use. And you put your pan underneath there, and you can wheel it around inside the shop here. I may get around to using this one later on this fall, if I'm lucky. We've got a few other engines here. This is a International Stover, and then there's actually 2 other John Deeres that run down in the bottom there, but they don't. I think they might have skids, but there's no carts. Had those both running. It takes a few, maybe 20 minutes to get them figured out, get them running, and then a little Maytag on top there. So. There it is, John Deere corn shellers. At least my history that I know about them. Like I said, whatever I don't know, I made up. So correct me down below, or take a look. I'll put a link in there to a nice article I found. Kind of describes them. I hope this was informative. Talk to you guys later.